Hello everybody. Very quick update video for today. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. It's not edited. I just finished streaming 7.5 hours. I just wanted to make this video really quick to cover the update. So, update came out today. Fantastic. What changed? The servers for Central are broken again. Hopefully it won't take too long to fix. It seems like Torn Banner is on top of the issue. They know it's there, etc, etc. Chivalry 2 is now on Game Pass. If you haven't tried it for some reason, now is a good time. There's a new Team Deathmatch free-for-all map, Hippodrome. I did not get to play it because it is not in the 64-player rotation. Kind of a shame, I'll try to play it tomorrow. There's a new weapon for Ambusher. Ambusher got a bunch of updates, and there's some other stuff. They also added in this very nice armor. This is actually the Chivalry 1 Malric set, as well as kind of like Phaedrad's armor. This isn't exact, but it's close. This does cost about $10 to purchase, but I like it, so I bought it. If I like it, I'm gonna buy it. I don't care. They changed it, so now you cannot team switch anymore. You kind of can, but not really. I wasn't able to team switch all day. Not that I tried very much because I really wasn't before the update, but this should satisfy all the people who say that this should satisfy all the people who talk about team stacking. Matchmaking queues have, I think, been improved. There's now mounted warfare. It appears that the only maps you can play are the ones with horses on them. I'll try that tomorrow so I can try Hippodrome because I'm curious. They added horses to 40-player on Aberfell and Rudhelm. 64-player now has the Tenosian maps that did not exist before. Duels now has Hippodrome on it. I don't know if there's horses on there. I don't know. It appears to say that they will there will be servers specifically for Hippodrome. Okay. Katars. I used Katars plenty today. I think they are quite strong while also being quite weak at the exact same time. There's a couple of issues with them. For example, the jab is not actually a jab, it's a headbutt. But the problem is anybody who's dueled in this game probably knows about jab collides, where two people jab each other at the same time and they both cancel each other out. You don't get that with this, and unfortunately the headbutt is actually pretty slow, and that makes you very susceptible to jabs. People can jab you very easily. The weapon is very cool. You'd think that not being able to flinch enemies with attacks is pretty bad, but it's actually fine. I didn't have very much issue at all playing with the Katars. I thought they were great. I had a lot of fun. I think they're very strong. I only had issue with people who were already as good as I am, or maybe a little bit better, like Peon and some other people. I think it's a very difficult weapon to use, but it's also very powerful in the right hands. It does seem that Katars take a 25% stamina penalty, so if you were to block an attack, then you take more stamina damage than somebody else. The Maul special attack did about 80 out of 100 Vanguard stamina. I think it would remove a knight or footman stamina immediately, and an archer wouldn't have a goddamn chance. Highland Sword got a huge nerf. I don't think it matters. I don't care. I used it today. It felt just fine. It did less damage, but the strength of Highland Sword is not the massive damage, it's how you hit somebody. And Highland Sword still hits people just fine. Some people think the weapon is dead, it's gone, got over-nerfed. It's fine. I think it's fine. Now, what I am worried about is the slash does 50 damage, which is the exact same as the Greatsword, which is less than the Messer. The Messer does 55 slash damage, and now Highland Sword and Greatsword do 50. Messer wins again, I guess! Javelin got a turn cap to be matched with the spears, thank goodness. I wish they would nerf it more. Lance got a couple changes. One-handed spear and two-handed spear got a combo speed nerf and a knockback reduction, and also the overhead does no longer thwack. If you don't know what thwacking is the thing where you hit somebody with a blunt weapon and the attack stops. The biggest thing here is the knockback for me. The knockback changes are the biggest. I didn't notice a combo speed difference at all when I was using the spears today. The Pavis shield is now bigger, I guess. You can no longer dodge out of a counter attempt. If you throw out a counter, you can't dodge out of it if the counter has been in the air for too long. You can only dodge in the very beginning. This means that you can't make a mistake and then dodge out of the mistake, which I feel is a good thing. Ryan Mauld, good friend of mine, also a streamer, you should go check him out. He uses this a lot. He can no longer use it as well as he could before, and I feel bad, but also it was pretty gross. I think that's kind of not good tech for a video game. Horses got a bunch of changes, including collisions and changes and things like that. Jabs are now slower off of a miss, so if you were to, say, miss an attack, you can't combo to the jab right away. You have to wait a little bit longer, which is good because that means that you can't get missed to jabbed. If you don't know what that is, in duels, there was a lot of people who would use a fast weapon like a one-hander, and they would run at you at like face distance, and they would intentionally miss their attack, then punish you for trying to counter that attack with a jab. That's gross. Ambusher now gets katars, as you probably know. They no longer have the quiver, they have bandages, and they no longer cause people to go down to get revived. They only kill. If an ambusher hits you and you hit 0 health, you die, no matter what. That's pretty cool. And a bunch of bug fixes. Just okay. Team Heraldry is now available for free-for-all, both Agatha and Mason. That's cool. Thank you. Very small thing, but I like it. Tenosia now gets new armor for the Vanguard and the Knight. The Footman and the Archer stay the same. The old armor for the Vanguard and Knight were removed, so now there's only the new armor available. That means every class now has its own unique look for Tenosia. Thank God. The helmets are shared, though, according to this. There's been a couple of map changes, just a few here and there. Free for all gets more XP if you care about that. The dual yard vote kick penalty is now bigger, and I don't think you can avoid the vote kick by leaving the game anymore, which is good. And that's about it. Oh, and then controller. If you're on a controller, there is a new change. You can no longer feint the same way you could before, and it's this one down here. If you are having trouble using the feints, I recommend give it a couple days, I think, and see if you can get used to it. If you can't get used to it, I recommend telling Torn Banner that it sucks. A lot of console players are going on and they're having a lot of trouble doing the new feint at type, and I think that's like, it's good to give feedback on that, but I also feel people are not giving it enough of a chance. People have been feinting the same way for about a year now, and now it's different. So I imagine, it's gonna take some adjusting. So if you can't adjust to it after 3 days or so, then go tell Torn Banner that it sucks. They also now get an FOV slider and a brightness slider. Yay, console. And then there's some Halloween stuff on October 18th and November 1st. And then there's a bunch of known issues and things like that. They still haven't fixed the no helmet problem. There was no talk of cross progression between Epic Game Store and Steam. No cross-platform parties yet. We'll have to wait until next update. But they did, let me go find it really quick. They did show off one of the new maps in a trailer. At the very end of the new trailer for Game Pass, they showed off this map, which looks fantastic. This looks really good. And that was it. This is the only shot of the map. But it looks great. It looks really cool. I mean, look at it. Pretty. I don't know how it'll play, but it's pretty. Another interesting thing is there's actually a new armor for the Mason Vanguard that's not purchasable. Let me load that up really quick and show you what I mean. So if we look on the Mason Vanguard, you'll actually find at the very bottom, there's an armor set that's not purchasable, and it's supposed to be unlocked at rank 14, but it apparently isn't. It looks pretty cool aside from the clipping, which makes me think that it might be unfinished. It's a really good looking armor set. I think it looks great. I think the Mason Vanguard needed something that just looks like fucking chainmail, and I like it. There is no chain coif. It's just that. I think it's cool. I'd like to see it in game. We've also got the new armor. It looks pretty cool. It also doesn't have a chain coif, but it looks great. This is Malric's armor from Chivalry 1, and it's actually got this nice, like, you can't see it in this lighting, but there's like a nice blue hue to it because it's been oil treated apparently, which is really cool. And then we've got Phaedron's armor, which looks like this. I don't dislike it, but I don't like that helmet a lot. And I'd like to replace it with another helmet, but the problem is it's like a big neck gap, Like none of these helmets really like fit it. This one almost does. This one, it's a little closer. I think I could live with that. But I've just opted to use the funny frog mouth helmet because I think it fits pretty well. And then free for all, you can now use heraldries that you couldn't before, including Mason heraldries. Ooh, that looks fancy. Look at that. That looks fancy. So you're gonna see a lot more blues and reds now. Either way, oh, another thing I should mention that I don't quite like about the new armor, you cannot put heraldry on it. These heraldries don't do anything, which is a bit of a shame, I would like to see maybe a second option under here, like where you select the option, and this one, it's like, oh, this one takes heraldry, and this one doesn't. That would be nice. But what do I know? And then, why don't I also show off the Katars, which are a one-handed weapon. The Man-at-Arms does get a speed boost with this, if you're curious. And they look like this. Or this. Or this. Or this. Which, this one looks pretty stinky, if I'm honest. I don't like it. But it's there. It also costs a whole lot of points, and you gotta level up to level 77 to get it. I like this one the best. I like the handguard it has. I think it looks pretty cool. The Tenosian Armor looks like this for the Vanguard, and this for the Knight. I think it looks okay. Not my favorite, but I think it looks okay. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for checking it out. Poleaxe video coming soon. It's a little bit slower, but it's recorded. All the footage is there. I've recorded the dialogue for it. It's just gotta get edited together. It might not make it by the deadline, which is, you know, tomorrow morning. I've got a lot of things on my plate. We're also recording Resident Evil 4 VR, and that's gonna be edited into a highly compact video instead of like a 50-part Let's Play. And I hope you guys stick around. Thank you very much, and thank you to everybody who came by today on my day off when I streamed the game for 7.5 hours. We got a lot of viewers. It was very nice. People were very kind. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you later. Bye.